I'm going to do it. So, question of the day. Is the Apple Watch worth the Apple tax? If you watched a video I put up, I unboxed this guy, this brand new space black stainless steel Apple Watch with the rubber band. And I've been wearing it now since the weekend and actually really enjoying it. But what I did was I used it. I had the Apple Watch, the aluminum space black or space gray, I guess. And I used that for a while, but I just ultimately ended up not being able to justify the $400 that cost at the time, along with what it was actually doing for me. And I had a Pebble, an OG Pebble at the time, and what I was getting from the Apple Watch was not $300 more, worth $300 more than what I was getting from the Pebble. So I took the Apple Watch back. I kept the Pebble. But recently, so I went from the Pebble to the Pebble Time, and in between I've had Moto 360, I've had one of the early Samsung watches, I've had a bunch of different smartwatches, and I just recently had an Asus ZenWatch 2, and that was $150, which is comparably priced to the Pebble Time, at least in its original price structure. And the ZenWatch 2 was pretty good. I mean, Android Wear has matured quite a bit, but I still found using the ZenWatch 2 a little fiddly. It wasn't easy or quick or intuitive always for me to get around in Android Wear. So we changed carriers last week as well, and I decided to go back over to the Apple side because I find that Android for me is still, even in a Nexus device, was still a little more fiddly and a little less polished than what I really wanted. And honestly, I just want my phone to work. I don't want to futz with it. Maybe I go back and forth all the time between Android and iOS, but I went back to iOS. I got this 128 gig iPhone 6 Plus S, and I also picked up the Apple Watch, mostly because I had a bunch of rewards points on Best Buy, and so this was on sale for $4.99, which is only $100 more than what I originally paid for the aluminum version, and so it was a better deal. This watch was like $700 when they first came out, and so $499 was a deal. It's really nice, and if you want to see my unboxing, I'll link it down below. However, okay, so to move on, is the Apple Watch actually worth the Apple tax? ZenWatch 2 is $150. This is $500. With the original two, WatchOS 1, WatchOS 2, as I've been using it and have used it in the past, I would say just barely. What really brought the Apple Watch over the top was its fitness app integration into everything that goes along with the iOS ecosystem. You get your steps, you get activity, you get all kinds of different things, and all elegantly and really comprehensively put together. But yesterday I started watching some videos about WatchOS 3, which, because I didn't have an Apple Watch at the time, I didn't really pay much attention to when it was announced. But as I was watching some of these videos yesterday, I started to get really excited about some of the things that Apple has done to improve the OS. Some of the things that maybe seemed like good ideas at the time, like the glances and all that kind of stuff that were existing in OS 1, OS 2, have been done away with. They now have a dock, which, the button that's on the side barely had any use before, but now this side button, you're not going to be able to see it. The side button launches a dock instead of a favorites wheel that no one seems to have ever used. So that's a lot better. There are no more glances, so when you swipe up on the screen, you just get sort of a control panel like you do on the iOS iPhone version. So that's that works a lot better. The glances were not good for me. I always went past the one that I wanted to use. I never really found what it never really worked the way that I think Apple hoped and intended that it would. There are more watch faces now, and the way that you change watch faces is different. If you want to change your watch face, all you have to do is slide over, and you get to different watch faces. They have made additional watch faces that have, so you have an activities watch face with more complications. Those are all great things. They really enhance the use. I still wish there were more options for digital watch faces, because they've given you a lot of analog watch faces, but the digital watch faces they're not really doing as much with, and I wish that there was more. But I got a list here of some of the things that they've brought up in watchOS 3 that have made it really worth my hard-earned Best Buy reward zone points. The thing that I like the most, that's going to change my life the most, is a complication that allows you to control the music straight from the front of the watch face right there. It wasn't terribly hard to get to the music glance, but now when I'm out on a walk, or I'm walking the dogs, or I'm getting to work, or any of those things, it's really, really helpful to be able to just look at the watch, tap it, get to the music app, change what you're listening to, or see what it is that you're hearing. They also, a new app that they've introduced, they call Breathe, and everybody all the reviews that I've watched, they talk about, oh, it's funny, that your watch is telling you how to breathe. But I try and do a lot of mindfulness meditation. I'm trying to work that into my life, and I have a little bit of an anxiety issue, so breathing exercises really help. And what this app does is it guides you through a 1-minute breathing exercise where you are bringing oxygen in and just breathing in and out as you're guided through taptic engine. The taptic engine is like sort of ticking on your arm, telling you when to breathe in. When it stops, then you breathe out. When it starts again, you breathe in. You do that for a minute, and I think that's fantastic. That's the kind of thing that's going to change it's going to change the way that they use the watch, and it's going to make the watch much more useful and integrated. And that's always been the big bugaboo, the big negative, what is it going to do? And it seems like a Breathe app might be a small thing, but it's not. The Home app is kind of the same deal. More and more people are getting integrated with smart home stuff. And so the Home app, if that becomes a clearinghouse for what you need to do with all of that all in one place, I think that's going to be really great too, and very convenient on the watch face. Let's see. They've done a lot. I mean, just looking at the settings, you can disable taking screenshots. I know I've accidentally taken a lot of screenshots, and there's just a lot of new features. And honestly, they've completely overhauled the way that you use the Apple Watch, the way that it works and integrates itself into your daily life in such a way that from OS 2 to OS 3, it's a completely different deal. And whereas I kind of whinged a bit at spending $500, I say even after the better part of one day using this app, I feel a lot better about my investment in the Apple Watch. And it's also a lot faster. I meant to mention that the watch itself loading apps and just how it works a lot faster than it was in the past. So is this watch worth paying the Apple tax? Whereas I might have said before, and it's sort of a luxury item, a little bit of mad money. Now I say it's much more integrated, it's much more worth spending your time on, and it's much easier to use. So yeah, if you are in a place where you can afford $300 to $500 for a watch, then this is by far the best smartwatch I've used to this point, especially after this update. And so the answer to today's question is yes, this watch is worth the Apple tax. So I'm the JTL, and until the next time, out.